Well, thank you. And like everyone here, I am humbled and honored and so appreciative of the Hall of Fame Executive Committee and the Selection Committee for nominating me. People ask me, why are you going in? I say, I really don't know. And that was pretty much the truth. So anyway, I am honored to be amongst many of these athletes and officials and administrators, and I'm glad to be in your company. First, I want to make a couple of recommendations, and I want to recognize my parents, Totten and Lila Warfield, who raised their children, 4, to be mentally strong and physically fit, and every day work to give us a loving, fun, and healthy, strict home environment. They were excellent role models to their children and to our friends as well, and all of our friends were always welcomed at the Warfield household. I went to Rincon High School along with my brothers and my sister, and my favorite teacher was Mrs. Hatunen, a quasi-administrator, PE teacher, cheerleading and song leading sponsor, and involved with the GAA, the Girls Athletic Association, which was a precursor to Title IX. The GAA started in the 1920s, 1930s, and it was really about recreational activities for women. And so one day she would sit us down, often she did this, and talk to the girls in the girls' gym. We had separate gyms at that time. And she would talk to us about current events, such as the Vietnam War and the controversies surrounding that. Title IX that she knew was forthcoming, or she hoped it would. The women's liberation movement, those types of things. As well as a woman by the name of Margaret Sanger, who was living in Tucson, Arizona for most of her life, who eventually became sorry for a second. I'm looking at my notes and they're the wrong page. Sorry about that. Let me get myself organized because I'm kind of all over the place, and I apologize for that. Said that. Okay. That's all right. Let me just get this. Oh, I see. It's because I forgot the first page. Okay. Anyway. I knew. Yeah, so. Yeah, actually, that's not true today. So she would talk about, as I went, Margaret Sanger, who was a long-time Tucson resident, who founded an organization that eventually became known as Planned Parenthood. And then, of course, the forthcoming of Title IX. So those were some of the things that Mrs. Hatunen talked about from Rincon High School. And I will never forget when she shared the information about Title IX, should it pass the U.S. House and Senate, it would change American lives. It was called Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. And it was signed into effect by President Nixon. I remember her telling us that the girls no longer would be affiliated with GAA, which I just explained about the Girls Athletic Association. And in time, we might become part of the AIA, the Arizona Interscholastic Association, which was primarily, if not exceptionally, for boys. And to continue to be the governing body, and AIA continues to be the governing body of Arizona Interscholastic Association. Its history, which can be traced back to 1913. She talked about the possible expansion of girls' sports that might include softball, girls' basketball, and volleyball, whereby we would have coaches and official competition matches organized by the AIA. Schools would pay for our uniforms. Schools would provide transportation and have real officials. We would be treated similarly as boys' sports, and level the playing field. Title IX of the Education Amendments Act did pass in 1972, and it states, no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. To date, it has had at least 41 amendments, the last one in 2024 by President Biden. Today, Title IX is still relevant, and there is no doubt there will be further amendments or revisions down the road for us. In the mid-1980s, I was acutely aware of Title IX work that needed to be done, and after TUSD removed boys and girls gymnastics in 1993 due to the expense and liability, I no longer had a coaching job as the varsity girls gymnastics coach. I still had my teaching job at Palo Verde High School, but no coaching job. So I didn't know exactly what to do with all this energy that I had, as well as passion about Title IX. It passed in '72, but in the '80s, we just started moving into some real changes. So I decided to move into high school administration, positions where I hoped I could make a difference. I became the first female assistant athletic director for TUSD and the principal for student activities and curriculum and instruction at Sabino High School. Assistant principal for student activities at Tucson High Magnet and principal at Sabino. And among all these positions, one of my most important goals was to advocate for and provide opportunities in girls' sports, such as seeking out the best female coaches for female sports. That was a little unusual at that time because there weren't a lot of female coaches because they hadn't had female organized activities. So we had to seek out, I chose to seek out for female sports to hire to play for girls' sports or to coach for girls' sports. Hiring the first and best female athletic trainer in TUSD to care for both female and male athletes. Encouraging females to take officiating classes through AIA to become sports officials for female or male sports. Encouraging coaches and school administrators to file Title IX grievances for lack of a girls' varsity locker room. Pushed statewide policy that cheerleaders and bands participate at female events equal to that of male sports. Fairness in expenditures for female sports as to male sports. Opportunity in equal use of the varsity gym. Advocated for and succeeded in cheerleading becoming an AIA sport. Fairness in female competition scheduling similar to that of male sports schedules. And fairness in travel treatment for female sports as male sports. Elected by my peers, I served as the chairwoman of the AIA Sonoran region. I was elected to serve on the AIA 4A conference board, selected to be the keynote speaker for the AIA End of the Year award ceremony. You can probably guess what I talked about. And elected as AIA president of the 5A conference board. These are some of the examples of my passion to level the playing field for female sports at the high school level. And I am forever grateful to the members that suggested and supported and encouraged me to move forward with these ideas. During my tenure at Sabino High School, along with a great administrative team, a strong academic faculty, and interscholastics program with fabulous students and parents, we received the following Arizona Interscholastic Association awards: the Sonoran Region Excellence Award, the 4A Conference Excellence Award, the H.A. Hendrickson Award, and twice was awarded the Tony Comedina Award for Outstanding Girls Athletic Program to recognize schools that demonstrate advocacy of and progress in girls' athletics. Hopefully the banners are still in the school gym from AIA. Anyway, today, no doubt, the advancement of women's sports has exploded. The AIA has added girls wrestling and girls flag football, and because there was no boys volleyball at the time, they added boys volleyball. We have female sports officials working a host of male and female sports, including the National Football League, and female athletic trainers at all levels. I believe none of this would have happened as quickly as it did without the mandate of Title IX. However, the concern for and belief in female sports there were hundreds of males that were part of the AIA, and they were equally as concerned as females for fair competition and opportunity in female sports. And I really want to recognize and say out loud that this wasn't really about fighting for equity. The males were right there with us in the AIA to equal the level, or to honor the level of playing field for females. Thank you for this honor. I really appreciate it. Okay. Yes, and the reason why it was so important and I got totally befuddled, it's about the people that I love and need to thank. And I started on page 3, and now I've got page 1. I found it. I left it on the table. So here it goes. I want to thank the executive committee and the selection committee for their nomination and voting for my induction into the Pima County Sports Hall of Fame. I am humbled and honored. And I want to thank especially Kathy Krucker, who is one of my dearest and longest friends. We taught together and we coached together back in the 70s. Thank you to my family. There's a huge Warfield group over here. And friends all across here, thank you. As Perry Touche said, thank you for giving up your Sunday. We knew that you would probably have to shower, get out of your PJs, and give up a few NFL games. So thank you for being here and honoring us. I also want to, I hope my husband's here and my daughter. I want to thank, I already thanked my mom and dad, but I want to thank Neil Preimesberger. Neil, are you here, honey? There you are. Neil, you are the most significant person in my life. Most of you who know him know he's very funny. He's smart, clever, very patient and tolerant, loving and caring, and has great advice. We made a great tag team raising our daughter, Perry. I hope Perry's here. She is with, oh, there she is. She's raising her hand over here. She and her daughter, Hadley Lila, age 4, and Hudson, who's 10 months old, you probably have been hearing him, came in from Arvada. And Neil and I were, as I said, we're a tag team. Perry grew up on Sabino's campus as a very little girl. There wasn't one aspect of Sabino High School that she didn't know. The day custodian, Timmy Bridges, would walk around with her. She became the water girl for the Sabercats, and she herself went to Sabino High School and played, she was the center for the volleyball team. She was the captain of the varsity tennis team for 3 years, was in the dance program. And Perry and Neil, thank you for all your love and support. That's what I wanted to say, as well as you can see, it's very important to publicly thank the people that you love and appreciate. I am so glad, Perry Touche, that we did this together. It was fun, and thank you so much. Okay.